Let's talk about that time in my 20s when my friend's boo thing or whatever um, held us against our will. Yes. Um, so, anyway, we would always go to Columbus, hang out. We live in a smaller city, and that was like the big city that was closest. And so we would go there, hang out on the weekends, go out, or just go up there and hang out like at our friends' place or whatever, and barbecue and that kind of thing. So anyway, one of my friends was seeing a guy up there, and so I had never met the guy, but this specific weekend when we went up there, I met him at our friend's house, and I'm not going to go all into the whole story, but anyway, we're all drinking, we're all, hanging out. And I don't really have a good vibe of the guy from the start, okay? My friend has hung out with him a couple times previous. But anyway, so we end up, her and I are going to take him to his apartment. And I can't really remember if we had planned on staying the night or if we were had planned on dropping him off and then leaving. I'm not sure what, was the deal there. But anyway, it ends up that we're at this guy's apartment. Um, and so when we go in the apartment, there's only one way in, one way out. It's just one, little small apartment. Um, anyway, when we go in, he locks the door from the inside with a key, like locks it shut. And I thought, well, that's strange. I just had a really bad vibe. And so I say something, because I have a mouth. I run my mouth. So I was like, "Why did you do that? Why did you lock us in? Like, can you tell me why you done that?" Well, anyway, um, and at first he's like, making it like it's no big deal. Um, well, so then, whatever. Like I said, we had all been drinking and stuff. So however long passes, I'm not really sure at this point. But I remember he had white furniture, and his apartment to me, I was just like, man, he has a really. It was just so well kept, so clean, so like pristine. Okay, cleanliness in this apartment. And I was like, man, most guys don't live like that. But okay, cool. That's cool. Whatever. But anyway, I'm an observer, so I was just paying attention to every little thing. Well, then he also tells us that he has a bunch of women's clothing, um, just in case we wanted to change. If I wanted to put on a robe or a nightgown or something more comfortable, he had all that. And I was like, no, I'm good. Anyway, um, whatever. I can't even really remember what caused him to get irritated. When he pulled out the GUN, that was when it got really scary. Um, and like I said, I have a mouth, and of course, up until that point, I had been, saying, "Hey, look, I want to leave. I want to go. I don't want to be here." And he just was getting more irritated, more irritated, more irritated. Um, but when he pulled that GUN out, I was like, "Whatever you need me to do." Well, anyway, so then in my mind started just going like 100 miles a minute, and I'm like, "Oh my God, what are we gonna do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?" So, um, well, for one, I sat there in that chair. I don't even know how long. It had to have been a couple hours probably. I'm not really sure because I'm not even really sure what time we got there because, like I said, we had been drinking, partying. So I'm not really sure what time we got to his place. I want to say it was probably like 3 a.m. ish, something like that. Um, but anyway, by the time that things really came to a head and I was trying to just figure out how am I going to get the hell out of here, um, the sun had started to come up. And I was like, oh Lord. So I don't know how long exactly we were held there, but um, what I did was, if you remember, I said there was white furniture. It was all white furniture. And this apartment was just, I mean, so spotless. It was just unreal. Um, Almost as if it was like a woman's apartment. Um, that I mean, it was just like hospital sterile clean type of thing. Um, so anyway, that next morning, um, he's totally different now. He's so nice. Um, he is very friendly. He wants to make us breakfast, which I'm not. I don't want no parts of none of it. I want out of here. You know what I'm saying? Um, anyway, he one thing that stuck out of my mind was that he demanded that we were going to have breakfast. And he was cooking his bacon, and I mean, he was standing there and he was making sure that bacon was so straight and perfectly aligned, straight rows in the pan. Everything was perfect. I mean, he was just such a freaking weirdo. Okay, I'm just telling you, he's just so many things about him was so strange, which is, I mean, explains a lot. But anyway, you know what I did? You know how I got us out of there? I was like, okay, what can you do here? How the F are you going to get out of this situation? Because I'm not staying here. He's not going to make me stay here. So I said, can I use the bathroom? And he said, yeah, go ahead. So I go to the bathroom. I'm looking in the window there. There was no way. That was not happening. But anyway, a thought came to me while I went back in there. He, like I said, he was in there cooking us breakfast, like nothing happened, like everything was cool. I said, I started my period. What are we gonna do? Like, I'm going, I bleed heavy. I mean, we got to figure something out because I need a pad or I need something. And he started freaking out, man. He slammed that fork down that he was using to flip that bacon around and stuff. And he's like, oh my God. And he went into this big old rant. Get that stuff on my furniture and blah, 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 on my rug and da, 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 da. Well, I knew right about then I was about to get up out of there. So, I said, do you have something I can use? And he was like, no, no, I don't have nothing. And I was like, well, I mean, I have some pads in my car, but I need to go to my car. Like, I need to go to my car. So he's like, I'm telling you what, I'm gonna let you out. I'm gonna let you out. You better go to your car and come right back up here. He was like, I'm not letting your friend out. She's staying here. You come back, you know. I was like, all right, I mean, whatever, whatever. Well, I'm telling you what, I looked at my friend like, listen, she knew. She knew. When he opened that door and he lets me out, girl, you better come on. You better come on. Because I'm not coming back. I am not coming back up in here. Now, mind you, I didn't say a word to her. I just looked at her like, girl, come on. And if she sees this video, she will attest to that. Like, we're getting the up out of here, sister. Let's roll. And that's what we did. Okay. So then we get out to my car. I got to my car and he done Of course, she came right out too. He calls himself coming out too, but then there's like a bunch of people outside, okay, because it's daytime now. Not a bunch of people, but I mean, there was people outside. There was like kids outside and stuff playing or whatever. And so like, what could he really do out in the open? You know what I mean? Like right out in the open, he wasn't gonna do nothing. Well, anyway, so he jumps in my car. Like he jumps in my car. So I was like, listen, you gonna get out my car. I'm tell you what, you gonna go for a ride, bro. You are going for a ride. Well, anyway, so he didn't get out of my car and I took his ass for a hell of a ride. Think I didn't? Oh my God. Back to my friend's house. Like he kept saying, just go ahead and let me out, get out. Like I was, you know what I'm saying? I'm going whatever, like 35, 45, whatever speed limit is. And he kept saying, F and stop and let me out. No, just jump out. Just jump out. Like that's what I want you to do. But anyway, yeah, so that was the time that I got held against my will. Um, just on a random weekend.